Hi, I'm Jenny Slate, and believe it or not, someone is allowing us to have a podcast.
I'm Gabe Weidman.
I'm Max Silvestri, and we've been friends for 20 years, and we like to reach out to kind of get advice on how to live our lives.
It's called I Need You Guys.
Should I give my baby fresh vegetables?
Can I drink the water at the hospital?
My landlord plays the trombone, and I can't ask him to stop.
You should make sure that you subscribe so that you never miss an episode.
I need you guys.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
Let's check in on the Serta counting sheep.
Why aren't we counting anymore?
Well, the all-new Serta Perfect Sleeper has the Q4 support system that helps relieve aches and back pain.
We'll never get counted again.
Nope.
Serta, we make the world's best mattress.
You can support this podcast at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, and this is Crime Writers On. Crime Writers On is the original true crime review podcast that digs into true crime, pop culture, other podcasts. And on this episode, police investigate the mysterious death of a sign language interpreter. Is it related to the anonymous hookup site he was on, or to what's been happening between his wife and his best friend? We'll talk about DTF St. Louis from HBO Max. Joining me to get that done and more is true crime author, TV journalist, and host of These Are Their Stories podcast, my husband, love of my life, Kevin Flynn. Hello, Kevin.
You forgot to mention former Playgirl model.
That's right. Indiana Jones, Dick. Wow. Yeah.
Who knew when you search that term, you get so much crazy stuff?
Now we know.
I guess that detective
I think I would have guessed.
You would.
Also with us, private investigator, certified pet detective, resident cat lady, and author of The Final Curtain, it's Laura Bricker. Hi, Laura.
Hello.
And finally, our captain of all things cynical, author of the City Trilogy, host of Rip Current, More Like Ancient Aliens, Strange Arrivals, and our Patreon Deep Dive Book Club podcast, Toby Ball. Hola, Toby.
Guten Tag.
Wow.
No, so my goodness, did you move to Germany now?
No, Germany is just another country in Italy. Jesus Christ! You can see how tired I am already. It's another country in Europe.
Zone difference.
Europe's all just one big country these days.
Yes, mostly. So, Kevin, this is Monday's program.
Yes.
What's coming up on Thursday's show?
On Thursday, we're going to talk about a podcast from Wondery, probably the last Wondery podcast they'll make, or at least that we'll talk about, as they shift over to Audible. It's called Blood Will Tell.
That's right. Wondery shut down its narrative division, laid off a bunch of people. When did this one come out? Just recently?
Just recently. The whole the Wondery Plus app is shutting down later in May. And so I don't know. Maybe there's another one we'll sneak in. Of course, we'll still have their products from Audible because that's sort of like everybody that got swallowed up.
Right.
But this is probably one of the last that we'll have under the Wondery label. It's called Blood Will Tell.
Okay. So, Kevin, baseball season started. How's it been going?
Oh, it's been going great. Is this the transition into
we'll talk
DTF?
about that. But how has it been for you?
It's been great. It just started. I don't know if I mentioned this, but it was in the newsletter for folks who remember reading this, that I attended a 5-day umpire academy that was run by Little League International. Like I was going to do I wanted to do some sort of camp to kind of get to the next level and fix the things that I need to fix. And this was great. This was pretty intensive. We did all sorts of things. A lot of it was designed for Little League because the way they do things, the fields are smaller and stuff.
That's the thing that I've learned is that all these different leagues, Cal Ripken, Little League, high school, junior varsity, whatever, they all have different etiquette, different signs, different everything.
The umpires do, yeah. There's different rule sets. So if and the little ones, can the kids lead? And, if you're an umpire on the bases on a 60-foot diamond, it's very different than a 90-foot diamond. Anyway, that's all to say that I got asked they had national instructors. One guy came from New Brunswick, and another came from California, and one drove up from Pennsylvania. And there were some local guys, and the local guys asked if I would do a couple of games where they are.
Nice.
And so I got asked by one of the umpires who is going to be in Williamsburg on ESPN this summer if I would come to their local opening day, and we would have 4 umpires, which you don't ever have. And I was like, I would love to do a 4-man thing. And they put me at the plate for the big opening night last night, and it was good. It was a lot of fun. And then I found out that I was one of 3 of the standouts from that academy.
Nice.
So,
I knew it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So when Carol just walks the fuck on the field and doesn't know what a bunt is and then ends up being quote unquote umpire of the year.
Does that make you lose your mind?
We'll get into it in the review. But when I looked at Carol wearing the big pillow protector and the chest protector all underneath one big shirt, I was like, that's not. And then wearing her baseball cap backwards. God damn it.
Sad.
Yes, my instructors would have freaked the fuck out, Laura.
Just to be clear, Kevin had to practice for a long time pulling off his mask and then what was the hat situation? Like pulling off the mask and hat at the same time?
No, pulling off the mask without the hat
coming off. That was a whole practice thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you have special custom hats now that fit your head?
Yeah, because the brim can't be too big.
Yeah, anyway.
Toby, I can't do the 8-stitch or the 6-stitch. It's got to be a very small 4-stitch brim.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know,
That's
right?
hardcore. Why can't you lose your hat? What happens if your hat comes off?
You don't look good, apparently. It's all about the style.
Got it.
It's like, your gatto may be elegante, but my umpiring skills must also be elegante.
It's like being in the military with no stakes is what it's like.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of cool that there's this like culture around it that goes from the big leagues all the way down to the little leagues, and it's like consistent and all that stuff. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of youth baseball, and those leagues are like Babe Ruth and Cal Ripken, and there's some travel ball. And I just sort of, because Little League is a thing unto itself, I've just started to come into it, and I realize it's a little cultish.
Oh.
I don't want to say cultish, but it is very kind of like Amway.
Really?
That's kind of a cult too,
so
right?
You're moving up the hierarchy. So where are you hoping to land? Are you hoping to get out of that and get into the high school? Or are you like,
I'm doing high school all the time. I've been primary, but I would have gone to a camp, any camp for high school or college or whatever. I just wanted to get, talk to instructors and work on things like the proper footwork and
make friends
and make a couple of friends. So it just happened to be that I was going to go somewhere on the East Coast, and they just happened to have this in New Hampshire. They started moving it around. So I said, okay, I'm going to go here. And they always are like, okay. And then when you go to Bristol, Connecticut, and then when you get on ESPN, I'm like, dude, pump the fucking brakes. Pump the brakes. I'm still working on calling strikes.
You are 100%.
Hey, man, aim high.
Series.
Aim high.
So Toby's going to be on the red carpet. You're going to be on ESPN, and I'm going to be here in Exeter looking for the missing dog in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're doing real work there. None of us are.
I'm going to be at my house.
We're doing bullshit. That's real work.
I have nothing to do either. So anyway, all right, Kevin, should we review the thing that we are here to review?
Let's do that.
Okay, leading off.
So you meet these people, married people. It's mostly for married people, the reporter was saying, who are they're very happy, and they want to stay in their healthy marriages, but they're also down to like fuck people that they've never met before.
TV weatherman Clark Forrest convinces his friend and ASL interpreter to sign up for an anonymous hookup app to spice up his life. Floyd Smernitch is cash-strapped, overweight, and dealing with his distant wife and troubled stepson. But after joining DTF St. Louis, Floyd's body is discovered in a pool house after a late-night rendezvous.
This guy had a wife and a kid. So I think Daddy wanted some private time with his male porno before work. So he found this little spot, shuttered pools.
Investigators examine Clark's relationship with Floyd's wife, Carol, which leads to more questions about the sex lives and personalities of the suburbanites. While looking into whether friends, strangers, or lovers are behind his demise, a clearer picture of Floyd emerges, a man who longed for more than just a physical connection.
If it isn't DTF, it's about a hookup.
It's about connection. Isn't that what it's about?
S for fucking.
Yeah, but I mean, you start with a connection.
Jason Bateman, David Harbour, and Linda Cardellini star in the HBO original DTF St. Louis. The series combines dark comedy and mystery with a meditation on the quiet desperation of middle-aged people. Are their midlife crises really about sex or a cure for their loneliness and disappointment. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about plot points from DTF St. Louis. So if you want to remain spoiler-free, go to the estimated time code in our show notes for our thumbs up or thumbs down reviews. So Laura, I've been describing this show to people. I'll just say I love this show right now off the bat.
Yep.
And I know we probably have a mixed bag of feelings about it, but I love this show. I describe it to people and I say it starts as one thing and then turns into 5 different things along the way. Was that your experience too?
Yeah. So I watched the first 2 episodes and I'm like, this is like dark comedy, noir. We've got Hopper from Stranger Things, who's in this. We've got Jason Bateman, who's playing like super creepy characters lately, ever since Ozark. I'm telling everyone, you got to watch this. And then it sort of segues into this, what I see as this deeply sad sort of, I'm going to say, meditation on middle-age malaise and friendship and male friendships. And at the end, the mystery wasn't as central as it was more kind of the commentary on suburban middle-aged marriage and life. And it was sadder than I expected as it went on. So in the beginning, I was like telling everyone to watch it. And then I said, it's a little more depressing and bleak than it started out as. Like, I was hoping it was going to be a little more quirky throughout. And there were quirky parts, but there were also, like, you know, when you're like, can you speak up? Or, I can't hear you.
Love that.
Can you say that again? I can't hear you.
It's a power move.
She heard it in the podcast. She had to do it because she heard it in the podcast.
Yeah.
I want to ask Kevin, one other thing I warn people about is the overlapping timelines, this time shifts, because it's actually important to the story and you don't realize it's happening for kind of a while.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great use of overlapping timelines because it does add some surprise and disorientation to the viewer because we see things like how they meet and then like, you know, the plans to kind of get on the app, you know, you think the couple meets here and they actually met there. I think it was great in the beginning to sort of like keep us off balance and it kind of electrifies the narrative. If it went in chronological order, you kind of would go, yeah, I mean, you'd have the beats, but I don't think it would have resonated the same way. So I thought that was some very clever writing. It kind of really spiced that up for me.
I don't think you could have a police investigation if it went in chronological order because then we would know what happened. Right?
Well, this is true. Yeah,
and so we sort of learn the information in the same order that the police learn the information. And we learn it at a different time than the police. But I think is really interesting.
But even more scattershot from that. Because we think we know how they're discovering events. We have like clumps of things and then we realize it's all jumbled up.
Right.
And that's important.
Like the smoothie shop.
The smoothie shop, yeah.
A real smoothie shop, by the way. Yeah. I love the use of brands in this. So let's talk about performances. What do you think about David Harbour in this, Toby? He really is the center, the sun around which the show revolves.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was amazing. I think this would be a tremendously difficult character to play in a way that was sort of genuine. He's so extreme, right? He's like this sort of saint of empathy or something. Like he's so empathic. He's so desperate for connection with people.
I'm like at an age where I'm just kind of invisible. Like in line or in a restaurant, it's like people don't even realize that I'm there. Used to be that people would be like, hey, look at that guy, he's cute, but now it's not anymore.
It's like a tightrope act because it would be easy to like overdo it or make him seem like sort of an eager puppy or something, but he's able to play it. You know, he's very enthusiastic and at times it seems genuine and then at other times it seems as though he's like sort of fighting off the demons by projecting this in front of people. And at other times it's like he's sort of seeing these glimpses of things that he can grab onto to kind of feel better about himself or feel some kind of connection. And these all kind of are like subtly different kind of emotional responses that he does really well. So in just one way, he's got this like kind of nuance or constrained performance. And other parts of it require him to be like quite out there and physical, like with his sign language and his dancing around and his this interesting sort of boyishness that he has to him. So I thought he was incredible. I mean, I think he really makes this show work.
I agree with you completely. And I suspect he will be nominated for a Best Actor Emmy for this and will win. I also think Peter Sarsgaard is incredible in this as the roller rink guy.
I love that guy.
Oh my God. I think Richard Jenkins is great in it as this sort of like old man detective. The performances in this are just...
Including straight-laced bras. Apparently that's his only kink.
Oh
That's his kink.
His kink.
So vanilla. You know, one of the things I love about this show is unlike just about every other thing we watch, it depicts actual struggling actual middle class people. Like Jason Bateman's character Clark obviously lives in like a nicer house. He makes more money. He's on television and all that stuff. But even his nice house is like a real nice house, not like a insane nice house. And David Harbour, his character Floyd's house, looks very real, and their yard is kind of scruffy. And, you know, she goes to Home Goods to buy a bunch of stuff at one point, and I'm just like, that is the suburban middle class excitement. Going to get new sheets actually is quite exciting, she says, after she has ordered new sheets for her bed. Yeah, so I just love all of that. Laura, what do you think about Jason Bateman in the show?
Yeah, Jason Bateman, he's kind of found this stride in this era of his acting life. It started with Ozark, where he played a character that we at first think is like this kind of earnest accountant sort of character that then turns into something much more. So when he comes into this, and we know immediately that somebody dies, and we know that it's his best friend, and we see him on this ridiculous little bike with the flag, kind of staring off into space with this kind of like expression where he's kind of checked out and he's just kind of smiling off. You're like, is he going to be a serial killer? Because I think when I see him in something now, I'm like, oh, he's going to be the bad guy. And like you said before, Rebecca, this turned into more things, because in the beginning, I was thinking he's going to be the bad guy. He really wasn't.
You loved him?
Yes.
But you loved her.
Yeah, but I loved him more. I would never hurt him.
Loved him how?
Like you love something, you know, like this sun when you're cold.
It was fascinating, just the complexity of that character as it went on. And even with everything that was happening, I wouldn't say lack of ego, but the way that he's so open to talking to Floyd as they're sign languaging back and forth about, I know you're fucking my wife. And then you're thinking there's going to be a big fight. And then you see this character is actually like, no, Floyd is like missing something in his life. And okay, now Floyd can watch, or maybe I'm going to help Floyd get some hits on his profile. And so I think Jason Bateman, he plays that character so well, where he comes in and seems like super innocent, but you know there's something more going on. And, you know, now he's in the Quality Inn and Suites having sex on his expense account or whatever.
Laura, Quality Garden Suites.
Weird kind of sex, too.
Well, that's the thing. Am I the only one who thought that David Harbour knew the whole time? I got the impression that David Harbour knew about it the whole time. Not that it was secret and then he learned about it. I thought that whole fucking your wife thing was just, in retrospect, like him doing sign language.
I don't know. I mean, he said that like she told me later on, and he did that in sign language. So I'm not certain. I mean,
does it matter?
No, I mean, because we know later on that he kind of, you know, whether he like literally is watching. But again, it ends up being, you think that that's all something like very kinky, and that's his thing. He wants to be a cuck or whatever. He wants to watch, right? But as you go along and you learn more about Floyd, then you understand that he is trying to experience joy, or he wants to see his wife be joyful, and he wants to see his friend be joyful, because he can't do that because of Chekhov's dick, right? Because he's like, oh, he's got Peyronie's disease, his dick is weird. And you see, it's like he keeps like getting to the story about, you know, he's trying to tell the story about like why his dick is messed up, and it starts with, you know, guy in the street and a motorcycle and the, you know, and the umbrella, and just finally after a bunch of episodes, just like, oh yeah, Richard just hit me in the dick with the with a bat.
Yeah, and we don't see it, which is interesting because we see everything else.
Yeah. That's like, you know, what Laura's saying is it starts off as one thing. Floyd, the character, sort of starts off as one thing. You think of him as sort of this doofus who's crying reading his Batman comic because he thinks Batman might die. You know, and his death is coded very gay, right? Or very closeted or whatever, you know.
Right.
You don't know that Playboy spread is actually him, you know. And so It ends up being...
Play girl, Kevin.
Play girl. Excuse me.
Before he had a crooked penis.
Before he had a crooked... It's like, how do we know? And he scratched the face. I mean, the mystery part was kind of compelling. It's what kind of kicks everything off here. It's the inciting incident. But as far as, Floyd, we think of him this way, and everyone's, as we hear about him, as they talk about him and tell us, they sort of tell us that he's sweet, and you don't know, I would never hurt him or whatever. You don't really know how to take it when, someone's being interrogated. But we learn along the way that no, he actually is really sweet in this particular way, to the point where he would kiss a guy and let him grab his ass because he didn't want to hurt his feelings. Right? And in a way, like he said, well, I want him to be. Not even the embarrassment. Well, I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but it was like, I think that might make him feel good. So it ends up being, that's why he's one of these very interesting characters, unlike one that we've seen in a while.
Yeah. Toby, one of the notes you have is about the way the characters speak, which I think is something you noticed, but I didn't pay as much attention to. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't notice it because it was driving me fucking insane. The way the script, I assume it must be the script, but there'll be these things like he was carrying a red wagon. A red wagon? Yes, a red wagon. The wagon, it was red. Yes. Tell me more about the red wagon.
So I come up with the Denny's plan.
The Denny's plan?
Yes, it involved Denny's.
The restaurant Denny's.
Restaurant Denny's, yes.
It was like all these like weird little things where somebody would say something, then somebody would basically repeat it as a question. The person would affirm it, and then the other person would like ask something about it. And it happens again and again and again. It's just almost endless. And every exchange, not every exchange, but an awful lot of the exchanges were like this. And it felt like it was trying to approximate like what a real conversation sounds like when two people have it and it's kind of stilted and stuff. But it just happened so much. I found it just absolutely distracting. And if they just written dialogue normally, I feel like the show would have been like 25% better because it just seemed so mannered to me in a show that I think was trying to drive at like, I mean, I don't want to say it was driving towards truths, but it was trying to make a comment about some stuff. And then to have this weird way of like writing dialogue kind of get in the way of that, at least for me, was kind of insane making. Like what was unusual about this was the story, I think, and stuff. I mean, did they do some clever stuff with time? Did they, the sets are good and all that stuff, but it's not like it was like some kind of weird avant-garde thing or whatever. So why would you have the dialogue be this like distinctly strange? So anyway, maybe
I think I know the answer, Toby. I also was thinking about this, and I think this is it. It was tipped off because of Joyce Sunday. She's the female detective, and like her character literally always has her blouse, her button up, and wearing their physical mannerisms. I think because she seemed very Wes Anderson coded to me, and I think if they had edited this tightly, all those lines, boom, the wagon, the West, like that. If they had pulled it, that would have really sounded like Wes Anderson type of dialogue, like from, Grand Budapest Hotel or the Phoenician Scheme or something like that.
The Denny's plan.
The Denny's plan?
Yes, it involved Denny's.
The restaurant Denny's.
Restaurant Denny's.
Say more about the Denny's plan.
I thought those characters, the cop characters, on the page, they might have been thinking that, and they could have achieved that if they had edited better. You also get great editing whenever you listen to anything that we have on Patreon.
You do?
Yes.
Business section time.
Yes, because sometimes you need to edit stuff to make it flow like that. Other times, if you're just super talented like I am, you just start talking.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah. I'm sure you never get edited in any way.
I don't know. Maybe I do. Slightly. Just gentle editing.
Yeah, gentle.
If you kind anyway. Patreon.com/Partners in Crime Media is where you get all sorts of exclusive content, including the Crime Writers on After Show. This week, we're going to play a little game. It's called Wondery or Not.
Oh, that's fun.
So as we bid adieu to Wondery, as we were talking about earlier, I'm going to give you two different kinds of quizzes about Wondery. I'm going to give you for the first, I'm going to give you the name of a host. And you're going to tell me which Wondery podcast they did. No, you'll get these, I think. And then I'm going to give you the names of different podcasts, classic podcasts, and you have to tell me whether they are Wondery or not.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm looking forward to that.
That should be a fun game.
Got a 50-50 chance on those.
You can also get Toby Ball's Deep Dive Book Club podcast. Toby's group is talking about the book, The House of Grief. We have Married with Podcast, new episode coming up, and Something's Off with Rebecca and Mel Barrett, and with the latest suit against both Karen Reed and Turtle Boy.
It's wild.
It's wild stuff. If you join us at the Bricker scale level, you get another exclusive podcast. It's Laura Bricker's Leave It to Bricker podcast. And this episode involves an Alpine horn, a mohawk, and Grover Cleveland.
It has everything.
What the fuck, Bricker? What's been going on?
I'm living my best life. I'm finding all of the interesting people at the Bavarian Swiss whatever winter celebration, the Meister celebration up in, middle New Hampshire.
The Meister, the Meister Burger from the Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which Rebecca didn't watch when she was a little kid.
Nope.
We had to Google it, and if you Google the summary, you don't realize how crazy ass that was.
Yep.
It could have been a Sid and Marty Krofft, right? Where
It's insane.
HR Puff and stuff.
And also Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, also insane.
Insane.
Absolutely insane. If you just read the Wikipedia summary of it's insane. And I never want to see these. They sound like nightmares.
Wait till you have grandkids. You'll have to watch them. If you're a deep diver, you get all of that, and you get to be an official sponsor of Toby Ball's Deep Dive Book Club podcast. Toby is recording on Tuesday the latest book that he is discussing. He's discussing it with Keith Sharon, Allison Horrocks, and Brittany Friedman. Toby, what book are you guys talking about?
It's called Chaos by Tom O'Neill, and it is sort of a alternative theory about the Manson murders. So this guy he spent like 15 or 20 years researching this book, and he's got a lot of pretty crazy ideas. And I think part of the interest in the book is, are you reading like really high-end conspiracy stuff, or does he really have like a story here? So it's a very entertaining read, and I think it's going to be a good discussion because there's a hell of a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it inspired the Chaos documentary that we talked about last year. I think it was from Netflix, right?
Yeah. That was just like a small piece of this. It was like that covered like one chapter of like 6 chapters of insane stuff that this guy like found out and then tried to kind of weave into a theory of the Manson murders.
Well, you get all that content. It keeps us a vibrant podcast when you support us at patreon.com/Partners in Crime Media.
Kevin, does thus end our business section?
Thus ends the business section.
Fade that music out.
Hey, everybody. Ted Danson here to tell you about my podcast with my longtime friend and sometimes co-host Woody Harrelson. It's called Where Everybody Knows Your Name, and we're back for another season. I'm so excited to be joined this season by friends like John Mulaney, David Spade, Sarah Silverman, Ed Helms, and many more. You don't want to miss it. Listen to Where Everybody Knows Your Name with me, Ted Danson, and Woody Harrelson sometimes, wherever you get your podcasts.
So, Kevin, who is sponsoring this fine episode?
Oh, it's our friends from Quince.
My favorite friends.
Spring is here, and it's perfect time for a closet reset, focusing more on quality over quantity. And this season, build a wardrobe of pieces that are well-made, versatile, and easy to reach for every day with Quince. Now, Rebecca, you are, I don't want to say the official Quince ambassador.
I am. I am accepting the role proudly.
Okay, you accept that role. Tell us about the latest thing that you got from Quince.
Well, Kevin, this isn't the latest thing, but it's my favorite thing, and it's time to take it out of the closet.
Okay.
My cognac leather motorcycle jacket.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I have one in black now, too, by the way. After I wore the first one like 50 times in 40 days, I immediately had to buy the other one. Yes, I love these leather jackets. They're incredibly high quality for the price, and just incredibly high quality and gorgeous, period. Every single time I wear them, I get so many compliments, and spring means it's leather jacket season.
Refresh your spring wardrobe with Quince.
Quince!
Go to quince.com/crime.
Crime.
For free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too.
Yeah.
Go to QUINCE.com/crime.
Crime.
For free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/crime.
Crime.
If your blonde is looking a little, off lately, it's not your fault. Brass happens. Or at least it used to. Before K18 Triple Bright Oxidation Defense Purple Shampoo. It's the secret to a brighter, longer-lasting blonde. With K18 Triple Action Technology, one wash removes up to 3 months of brass from hard water, so your blonde always looks fresh from the salon. Shop at Sephora or get 10% off your first purchase at K18hair.com with code podcast. That's code podcast at K18hair.com.
Laura, we have a pair of detectives here. We always have a pair of detectives and all the things like this that we watch. How do you think this pair of detectives, we have Richard Jenkins as Detective Homer and Joy Sunday as Detective Jody Plum. What do you think of this pairing?
The pairing of these detectives was one of my favorite parts of this whole show. You've got Detective Plum, who is very buttoned up with her shirt buttoned up to the top, but yet she is the one who's like sex positive and talks about some things in her own life that she's into that are kind of a little bit much for the other detective, Detective Homer.
I thought it was a British TV network, BBC, but you're saying it's also...
Big Black Cock.
Yeah, okay. Well, you got your DTF, your BBC.
SPH.
What's that?
Small penis humiliation.
How does that work?
That works where men like to be taunted about their small dicks.
They like that?
They love it.
He's obviously not up to speed on a lot of things like DTF. He doesn't, I didn't know what that stood for. I thought it was Drug Task Force. Apparently, I'm a little, I thought it was Drug Task Force. But I like the evolution and it's sort of like this little kind of subtle rivalry between the two of them. And then, gradually Detective Homer starts letting her take over some of the interviews and starts actually listening to some of the things she says. My favorite, was at the end where they're like sitting on her porch kind of going over this and he's asking about things. Well, like what things do people do? She's like some guys like to just get like kicked in the nuts or whatever. And and he's like, and they like that. And they like that. Yes, they like that. Oh, well, what do you like? I don't know. Like, what did he say? Like bras?
If the lighting's right or something.
The lighting's right?
Yeah. But
he likes boobs and, what did you say? Boobs and legs or something?
Boobs and butts.
Like a regular person.
Boobs and butts.
Sometimes a little bra, a lacy bra.
Yes.
So I thought that was a fun relationship to watch as it progressed because you know that the woman detective is very bright and you know that he's reluctant to take her advice. But then they end up at the P.O. box and they're like, was it mailboxes, etc. should be, what was it, dildos, etc. Because everybody's sending their dildos to their P.O. boxes. And he's like, really? They are. So I thought that was a great combination.
Kevin, Linda Cardellini.
Oh, man, she's so sexy.
Really?
She's sexy as hell. She's the right amount of sexy, right? Because she's not like a glamazon, but she just has this confidence in her. So I liked her character. Like, and I'll say, and I turned to you in the scene where she appears at the cornhole party and her blouse is buttoned down, and I was trying to maintain eye contact with a person on a screen, and I turned to you and I said, am I not supposed to look at her cleavage? Because it was so nice. But
Kevin,
I'm just saying, she appeals
like a 12-year-old boy.
She appeals to a middle-aged man.
Does she?
Oh, yeah.
You can do anything with me. You never have to have any fears about sharing anything with me. At the Quality Garden Suites, or wherever we are, I want your dreams.
And
she was an umpire.
And she was an umpire.
Super accurate umpire.
Completely not.
No?
No, we already talked about this.
She was umpire of the year, Kevin.
Of the year, because she wanted to be nice to the kids and then like told ball 4 on obviously strike 3, and nobody in the crowd protested. These suburbanites. There's not enough dildos to keep the baseball mom satisfied when that happens.
I like that her boss was 15.
Her boss was 15, yeah.
That actually was kind of realistic.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, though, how she kept asking it paid from him, yeah.
That's actually very accurate. Like, where's my $60? But there's also a lot of depth, I think, to this character. To her character, we see her sadness, and as we see, like, her family and her financial troubles as a motivation for, like, her wanting to escape, but she doesn't, right? Like the things that all of these characters do in the beginning end up being viewed through a different lens at the end. So all those times when she was like saying to Clark about how much she loves Floyd and she cares about him, we think of it as like a setup because she's a femme fatale. But then we realize, no, Floyd is just that sweet that everybody feels that way about him. So I found her character to be really great, confident, very sexy. Who knew what the powerhouse move was? Powerhouse. Now you know. How about the face sitting where it's just all of your weight?
The weight pressure thing.
Nothing sexy going on with,
just doing regular tasks.
Yep. Not doing anything with
making
the mouth.
Grocery
just
list.
Sit there and just like have the whole weight of your body squish my face.
Yes, while I look at my phone.
Well, you look at
That's
my
what he
phone.
wanted. He wanted her to do regular tasks.
Do your tasks.
Yeah. That was hot.
Yeah.
Toby, the cast in this is relatively small, and it actually, I feel like I was watching a play.
Yeah.
At times. And we watch so many things where there's like red herring after red herring after red herring, and that usually involves other people. And that's not what's happening here at all. What do you think about this very like tight little acting cast?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, it is a show about intimacy. So having an intimate cast where, you know, you're not distracted from the relationships that you're supposed to be paying attention to is probably a smart choice. But it's interesting that like Clark's wife, does she have a minute of screen time total in this entire thing? Like she's barely there. The only time you see the girls, I think, speak is when he's recounting trying to do braiding their hair, and they're just jabbering on and he can't pay attention to it. So the wife is basically non-existent. The girls only show up at times when he can't pay attention to them. You know, so they really just pare it down to the only characters that you really understand in the slightest are like the 6 main characters. And I think it's smart. And I do think it keeps you from being distracted away from what the show is about. And I guess, I mean, like Rebecca was saying, it kind of feels a little bit like a play. Like it would be easy to do this as a play, I think. Although you'd have to get somebody to play David Harbour's part, which I think would be very, very hard.
You get David Harbour.
You can get David Harbour to be in a play. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. He could
this is a
probably
nice
do
comeback for him after the Lily Allen scandal, right?
Oh, my God.
You mean where there was a hookup app, a celebrity sex hookup app that he was involved in? It was just a little too cruel there. Does anybody have a problem with David Harbour using what's known as a fat suit to put on 30 pounds?
Was he doing that? Was he wearing a fat suit?
He was doing that.
I thought he did it the natural way.
I think he should do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be it plays to the character. It's not necessarily like he's stealing a role from a plus size actor. He's not doing like the clumps where it's this, you know, he's putting on 200 pounds.
It's about how he feels.
It's about how he feels. It plays to it, you know. And
it's actually the perfect amount of fat for somebody feeling like they're a little bit out of control.
I hate this like performative, I'm an actor and I lost, 130 pounds so I could play this super skinny guy, or, I packed on 80 pounds of muscle so I could be, that feels like a stunt to me.
Yeah.
So the fact that he could, who gives a fuck? Wear the thing. I think it's important for the show. Like, he can't be super fit for the show. Like, that's not the way it's supposed
doesn't
to go.
serve the character or the story.
Although Jason Bateman seemed like he might have been wearing a skinny suit. Like, that dude is so skinny. I was concerned about him.
See that line on the side of his back?
Yeah, that line, apparently.
That line.
Yeah, take your shirt off. Let's see how that goes. Yeah.
I mean, you got to be skinny to be on TV. I mean,
you do got to be skinny to be on TV.
Your head has to be too big for your body to have your head look like a normal size.
Well, it's also important because you get down, like you said, to this final scene between the two of them in the pool house. We finally find out like what happened that night, and it was Clark who went to see him. And there's, they start slowly talking about like their bodies, and they start taking their clothes off, and you think, okay, because we suspect that like whatever happened before his death was sexual in nature, and so we're getting here, and we know that like all he wants is to get a hug and feel a boner, right? It's so you think that that's where that's going, and it ends up for me being the saddest, most emotional part. And it isn't even David Harbour who does it; it's Jason Bateman, where he basically says, "I don't know what I'm doing." He is just so lonely, and he just couldn't express it like Floyd could. And Floyd, his sign language. Don't sleep on that as a symbol, a thematic symbol here of communication and whatnot. But
men can't talk, but they can do this.
But they can do that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And the last thing I'll say about like the end, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about it, is in the end we do find out that there's no murder here, but that in some sort of sadness, that Floyd ends up taking all of the medicine because Richard spots him, in this sort of like compromising position, I suppose. I thought it was powerful when he told it and the idea of it, but I think when they shot it, what they showed us, it just like, I don't think they delivered it because it just didn't seem like what we ended up seeing matched Floyd's desperation that he would take his own life based on that. That's the only part that didn't ring true, although the idea of it did. That's the one thing I think they just did not deliver on.
I think I'm fucking lonely, man. I think I'm just lonely as shit. I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's okay. I'm so sorry.
What did you guys think about sort of how it ended?
Laura.
Pretty fucking bleak. I wished we had more of like a straightforward resolution. You know, I was like, okay, I was hoping for something more like, okay, there's going to be the life insurance angle, or there's going to be this, or there's going to be that. There's going to be some mystery that's solved that we're going to be like, aha, we have a satisfying payoff. Instead, it was sort of just like this sad reality. And I kind of came away thinking, okay, the way Floyd died is sort of the way Floyd lived. It sort of epitomizes that character that he's just going to put everybody's needs above his own and forsake his own life because he's worried now about the impact of what this child saw looking in, even though he's not even going to try to explain what he saw. He just is like, fuck it, I'm just going to end it. But I don't feel like it was set up in such a way that I immediately took that from it. Mm-hmm. I just wanted a cleaner ending. And it was a more subtle, I was like, okay, I get it. But I think there was a lot of this in the middle that sort of was very slow. And I was like, okay, we're going to get to the ending and there's going to be a satisfying conclusion. Instead, we have this very depressing. I was like, God, that's awful. I'm like, that's so awful.
I mean, it was awful. I disagree. I actually think it was, it wasn't played as like a huge surprise. And the thing I like about this show is that they didn't do a thing where it was like, oh shit. I mean, all the oh shit moments were small things that made you realize that you were wrong about what you thought, right? Like, because they did timeline stuff or whatever. But there was no like, I mean, I thought they were leading toward the kid having done it for a little while. And in some ways, I guess, you know.
And I thought the wife's absence was a
red herring.
Well, yeah, I thought they were like setting that up. So you wouldn't think it was her, but she's the killer.
Well, initially they make it look like it's the wives, right?
Yeah.
I disagree with you on that, Kevin. Toby, what do you think?
Yeah, you know, this is my least favorite kind of ending where it's like nobody intentionally does anything, but something bad happens anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple things. Like Laura was saying, you know, he puts everybody before him. Like, I think putting the kid before him would have been not killing yourself and leaving that kid with the guilt of being the last person who interacted with you before you killed yourself. I mean, that to me seems like a big burden he's now placing on that child. I was also a little surprised given, like when I was trying to like kind of go over this in my mind about what the script writers were thinking when they put this together. I wondered why didn't Floyd tell his wife that he was going on DTF St. Louis? Like that feels like the kind of thing that he would do. Like he seemed to be so open about so many things that it seemed as though he would just tell her. Because I was thinking that really like the one time that he's deceptive and he gets caught, and then that is what kind of is the final nail for him. I don't know. I just kind of, I didn't find it ultimately super satisfying, but I also didn't feel like I really needed it to be satisfying in this kind of thing. Like this show didn't, for me, succeed or fail on landing the plane at the end. I mean, it really succeeded or failed based on sort of your reaction to this world it's portraying, which is this really bleak thing where it's, you know, lonely people, particularly men, trying to get connection in any way. And you're seeing it in this case. And I think that's what Peter Sarsgaard's part is too, which is, you know, men aren't physically intimate with each other in non-sexual ways. Like heterosexual men don't spend a lot of time touching each other or holding each other
while you're riding your recumbent bikes.
Underwear or, you know, whatever. It's like all this, kind
Unless they're spotting each other at the gym. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of a nice message for this day and age. But at the end, ultimately, it feels as though it doesn't work for them, right? I mean, they have this supposedly super close bond where they're very physically intimate, they're very emotionally intimate. And at the end, Jason Bateman's like, I'm so lonely, I don't know what to do. David Harbour ends up, you know, dying by his own hand. The arc of the story is not is not uplifting. It's about how the desperate acts of these people to try and feel something doesn't end up working, you know? And then Jason Bateman goes back to his empty house where his family is left, and now he's like completely alone. So anyway, the whole way that all kind of played out to me seemed very secondary to like sort of the larger messages, which, you know, I think are there for something that's coming out in this day and age. I thought a lot of that stuff was pretty challenging and pretty interesting to have in something that's a popular, much talked about show.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Gabby Windy with Long Winded, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm desperate. I'm desperate for your attention in any way possible, so listen to my podcast, won't ya? It has great insights, exceptional humor, and plenty of pop culture to fill your dark souls. And some even say it's a great way to fall asleep due to my soothing voice. And I don't take that personally. Fall asleep. A listen is a listen, even when you're sleeping, and a view is a view, even with your eyes closed. If you dare, and it doesn't take much gumption, enjoy! Listen to Long Winded wherever you get your podcasts.
If your blonde is looking a little, well, off lately, it's not your fault. Brass happens. Or at least it used to. Before K18 Triple Bright Oxidation Defense Purple Shampoo. It's the secret to a brighter, longer-lasting blonde. With K18 Triple Action Technology, one wash removes up to 3 months of brass from hard water. So your blonde always looks fresh from the salon. Shop at Sephora or get 10% off your first purchase at K18hair.com with code PODCAST. That's code PODCAST at K18hair.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find a pro for your project at Angie.com.
Let's check in on the Serta counting sheep.
Why aren't we counting anymore?
Well, the all-new Serta Perfect Sleeper has the Q4 support system that helps relieve aches and back pain.
We'll never get counted again.
Nope.
Serta, we make the world's best mattress.
All right, let's do what we do. Let's let our listeners know, should they check out DTF St. Louis on HBO? Laura Bricker, thumbs up or thumbs down for DTF St. Louis?
So this is hard for me. I'm going to go mild thumbs up because I think the acting in this was tremendous. Everybody that was in this, Jason Bateman, Harbour from Stranger Things, the detective duo, everybody, I think the performances were incredible. This is not an uplifting, happy watch. At first, I thought it was going to be kind of like darkly comedic, and it had been sort of promoted as that. It's really kind of this meditation on middle-aged men that are lonely and they're sad, and I think it's very real. I would have liked to see a few more like mystery twists and turns within this, because I think the realness was hard. You have to be in the right space to take that all in. But I think at the end of the day, it was a very interesting story in the way that it portrayed this era of life and that age of life, and something that a lot of people feel. And I learned that DTF does not stand for Drug Task Force. So I might be as in the dark as the older male detective in this show. So yeah, this is a mild thumbs up for me.
Toby Ball.
I guess I'm a mild thumbs up too. I'm sort of in between mild and just regular thumbs up. If this had been like 10% better, I would have been very enthusiastic about it. It's got this dialogue, I assume, in the script, just the way people talk to each other, I found insanely distracting. And I'm sorry that I just ruined it for anybody who's not going to watch it, because you'll be thinking about it and you won't be able to think about anything else. But so I found that troubling. And the ending maybe didn't work quite as well as would have been ideal. But some of the stuff, the thematic stuff that's in this, I feel is so different and unusual from the stuff that's really out there. Like, I don't think we've really seen anything, like, not just for this show, but just in general, like on like Netflix and stuff. There's stuff in some movies or whatever, but like sort of popular, sort of zeitgeisty shows like this, dealing with loneliness and male affection and things like this. I just found that part really interesting and sort of, even though it's very sad, I thought it was just kind of encouraging to see that kind of thing portrayed in a way that felt, I don't know, true, or at least risk-taking in a direction of something that was true rather than playing it super safe. Again, I just wish it was like 10% better. Then I would have been like a strong thumbs up, but I thought some of the stuff wasn't quite there. So just a thumbs up. Better than a mild thumbs up, a thumbs up. I talked myself into it.
All right. Love that. Kevin.
Well, I'm a thumbs up, even though there is the implication that being an umpire is a turnoff to your partner. So, but
it's not.
It's not. Oh, super. Then I'm going to push on through. Yeah, I'm a thumbs up for this. I thought it was written really, really well. I do enjoy, the shifting timelines and this gradual tonal change from it being sort of straight out comedy and characters that are drawn rather two-dimensionally, how they fill out, how they become more three-dimensional, how they become sadder, how they become more real. It's an interesting meditation on the epidemic of male loneliness. And you don't realize that's where it's going, because without giving it away, one of the characters decides that maybe DTF, the F stands not for fucking, it stands for friendship. And it could be, and not really, but that seems to be what the characters are actually looking for. They're not actually looking to get off. They're looking to make a connection with a real person, something that is significant. And I was not expecting that from what we thought was going to be a murder mystery comedy. It got way more serious, and it had a lot of depth. I thought the writing was actually very good, and the way they decided to handle certain things. So, yeah, for me, I'm a thumbs up for DTF St. Louis.
I'm a strong thumbs up for the show. I keep thinking about it. It's one of those shows that's like a thinker. I keep thinking about it after I watched it. While I was watching it, the second half of it especially, I was reminded of a movie from the 90s that I'm hesitant to bring up only because it stars a absolute pedophile, Kevin Spacey. And that's a movie called American Beauty, which is a very 90s portrait of a similar kind of thing. Desperation, loneliness, fantasy, all that stuff. And, kind of similar but different themes. This is like a post-pandemic Trump era American Beauty is what it made me think of, and I love that film. I'm very nostalgic for that film. I would recommend, if you liked it in the 90s, rewatch it. It holds up better than you think it will, despite the fact that it has Kevin Spacey in it. God love David Harbour, man. He's had a rough year. He got divorced, and his wife made a whole album about how he cheated on her over and over and over again, and got so much press for it. And, seeing him in this, initially I was like, oh man, that's David Harbour. I wonder how he's doing these days. But I forgot all about it after watching him on screen for 5 minutes. He's incredible in this. He's absolutely incredible. So is Peter Sarsgaard, the non-Skarsgård Sarsgaard. Incredible performance by him. Richard Jenkins as a detective, incredible. Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman's really good at everything. He's very electric, very wiry. And it's interesting to see, as Laura said during our review, how he's involved into this character actor, kind of like Alec Baldwin went from being this serious leading man to being kind of a ham and all this stuff. Now Jason Bateman has gone from being this like handsome, funny, goofy guy to something a little more edgy, and he's very, very good at it. So I really love the show. It's super weird. I've been telling my friends to watch it. I'm like, just so you know, this is super weird, kind of bleak, very entertaining because it's very unpredictable in many ways, and I super liked it. So big thumbs up for me for DTF St. Louis. Now it's time for my favorite part of the podcast, a little something I like to call the Crime of the Week. Police in Columbus say their prime suspect in an arson showed up to his interview with singed eyebrows. Surveillance video showed a man in a pickup truck unlock a gate at a local business and drive up to one of its 3 fuel storage tanks. The suspect filled his own containers and began loading them onto his truck when a flash fire occurred. He tried to drive away before realizing there were also flames in the bed of the truck, so he backed up to the tanks and spread the fire even further. Authorities identified the thief as ex-employee William Dave Bush. When they interviewed him, his eyebrows were gone, he had burns on his cheek and ears, and bandages on his arm. He admitted to the crime, saying the fire started when he lit a cigarette. Officials say the blaze caused $25,000 in damages. Bush now faces felony arson charges. So, panel, finding their suspect with singed eyebrows made for a quick arrest. Who is the next dumb criminal who will incriminate himself just by showing up? Laura Bricker.
It's going to be the bank robber who shows up and goes, "What? This old ski mask? I just wear it around. It's cold out."
What do you think, Toby? Who's the next dumb criminal who's going to incriminate himself just by showing up?
I don't know whether this person's a criminal or not, but there was a 3-year-old girl at our local gelato place, and she was wearing her chocolate gelato all over her face. So if that was stolen, she was busted right away.
Yeah, sort of like a dog when they're still walking around with their sock in your mouth. Yeah. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, it's the Hamburglar who's going to show up with ketchup all over his face.
That's nice. That's very, very nice, Kevin. All right, Laura Bricker, folks want to reach out to you and say hi on social media. How can they find you there?
You can find me at Laura Bricker on Instagram and Blue Sky.
What about you, Toby? Folks want to follow your Spanish adventures. How can they see you online?
At TobyBall603 on Instagram.
What about you, Kevin?
I'm at Kevin P. Flynn. And the P stands for peen, because there was a whole lot of peen in this show. We didn't even talk about it.
So much peen.
Some AI, some real, all over the place.
A whole lot of peen.
You can follow me everywhere on Instagram, on X, etc. at Reb Lavoie. Follow the show everywhere at Crime Writers On, but mostly you should join our incredible community in our Facebook discussion group. Some people say it's the only reason they're on Facebook. Get everything we make at Patreon at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia. Our theme song was composed and performed by Tyler Gibbons, and our editor is the terrific Livy Burdett. The EP of this show is Kevin. This show was recorded in the Caitlin Rogers Project Studio, also known as Studio C, the closet in our New Hampshire basement where we also store our libido-killing umpire equipment. 100%. On behalf of all the crime writers, thanks so much for listening. We will catch you later.
We think of it as like a setup because she's a femme fatale. And sorry.
What is in your mouth?
Nothing. And
that was nasty.
That was super nasty. Okay. There's a disgusting outtake for you.
In Crime Media.
Hi, I'm Gabby Windy with Long Winded, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm desperate. I'm desperate for your attention in any way possible, so listen to my podcast, won't ya? It has great insights, exceptional humor, and plenty of pop culture to fill your dark souls. And some even say it's a great way to fall asleep due to my soothing voice. And I don't take that personally. Fall asleep. A listen is a listen, even when you're sleeping, and a view is a view, even with your eyes closed. If you dare, and it doesn't take much gumption, enjoy! Listen to Long Winded wherever you get your podcasts.
Why have I asked my electrician I found on Angie.com to bury my pet hamster Nibbles in our yard for me? Because I was so moved by how carefully he buried my electrical wires, I knew I could trust him to bury my sweet Nibbles after his untimely end. Nibbles. Gone too soon. May he scurry in peace.
Hey, sorry about your pet, but I just wire stuff.
Nibbles would have loved you like a brother.
Connecting homeowners with skilled pros for over 30 years. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find pros for all your home projects at Angie.com.
Close your eyes. Listen to Monday.com. Feel the sensation of an AI work platform. So flexible and intuitive, it feels like it was built just for you. Now open your eyes, go to Monday.com, start for free, and finally breathe.